Hello everybody and welcome back. On this adventure we'll be exploring the Carlsbad Caverns National Park. Let's get started. Before entering the park, you'll see a series of little gift shops as well as adobe little hotels and I think some kind of little attractions as well. And some of these also have different kinds of decorations in the front of them, such as wagons or metal aluminum statues of different kinds of animals. And in the inside you'll find all kinds of cool little sculptures, statues, and replicas of what's inside the cave. They also got a mini scale replica of the whole cave and all its chambers as well. It's pretty cool to see. It's really well detailed as well. That's a little gift shop right there in the top you see. Before heading to the cave, you'll see these adobe looking structures. I think they're the bathrooms and some other attractions. And right at the entrance, you'll see these I think staircases or some kind of seats. But that's the entrance of the cave right there. And I was so excited. I just got nervous, I had butterflies in my tummy. But nevertheless, I still continued forward and started entering the entrance of the cave. And I was already impressed by the entrance of the cave with a series of switchbacks that led all the way to the entry. But you can also see some bats too, but I'm not too sure my camera actually got them, but they're there flying. My excitement got the better of me, so I started to jog through the switchbacks to get to the cave quicker. But I noticed too, once I started getting closer to the entrance, the temperature got a lot more cooler as I approached deeper and deeper to the cave. Now my friends, this is where we enter the cave. And this beginning part, which I didn't know when I first started, is actually considered the Bat Cave area. And remember this for later on in the video, I'm gonna explain why. In the cave, the trail passed through a tunnel corridor that I made my way through, and there I realized how dark it was. I couldn't even see my own foot even in front of me. Luckily though, my eyes started to adjust, but my camera wasn't catching footage that well either. So this footage you're about to see is the last of the footage before I started switching to camera mode, because my camera caught more of the better details. But the funny, kind of creepy part about the camera mode, since it was in night mode, I had to wait 3 seconds to get a good shot. But it was like a weird kind of miniature horror game because it was so dead silent in that cave. And the little camera made a weird little 3-second sound. As soon as it got it, made a creepy little conk sound. And then it took the photo. Yeah, in some parts it was so bad and dead silent I could hear my own heartbeat. And it made me even more uncomfortable taking more photos by myself in the dark. But I guess it was the experience. I brought that lantern too, but it wasn't much help at all, to be honest. It was just dead weight. And that beautiful light you see in the roof of the cave, that's actually the entrance we came through. And I will call it later on, I'll call it Heaven's Light. You don't know why. But still, it was a beautiful view, honestly. You can see some bats too kind of flicker around in the distance as well. So now we enter the actual dark, deep part of the cave, guys. This was a cool looking runway segment that went to the dark part of it. I luckily was able to catch some of this footage right here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but here are some images I got of the stalactites from the distance. And as well as, actually I didn't know this, but inside different little parts of the cave, there's actually emergency call boxes. So there's an emergency, you can actually call them. And it's pretty helpful too and pretty cool, because after you hit certain junctions and points, you'll find maps as well to kind of tell you what part you're at in the cave. And at this point, that's where I start using the photos. So I'm going to just take pictures of all the beautiful things that I saw, and also too of the call boxes as well in the maps, because if I just tell you about everything I saw, this video is going to be over 3 hours long rating, so you guys could just enjoy the beauty with some background music too. Yeah, but this cave system was huge, and there were some segments too where you saw some people, but there was also others where you're by yourself for like maybe 5 to 6 minutes at a time or longer. But yet again, it just varies too on the crowd of people and night day where you're going. But yeah, I did see a lot of beautiful, unique sights and just so many cool, different shaped stalagmites and stalactites as well. It was a really, really awesome experience. And I was surprised too, because it wasn't really boring too. And I thought it was going to be more warmer, more hot, but it was actually a lot more cooler, like I mentioned earlier. There wasn't really much bats when you got deeper into the cave. It was mostly just in the front. But this is my favorite part right here, the dolphin area. And I saw these guys. I think they're getting some kind of spelunking tour, but I would never do that in a million years. I saw that fella right there trying to squeeze himself in. He was stuck. He was still trying to squeeze himself in. After the anxiety attack, I continued on to the cave, and then you'll see why I named this video From Hell and Back. The reason for this is, looking at the map, there's about 2 to 3 different rest stops with elevators. And I didn't know that that meant that was just the end of the cave. You could take those back to the mainland because you pretty much finished. But in my head, I thought, okay, you still got to go find some kind of the end sign. But then I went all the way back to the back cave, thinking it was the end of the cave, until I realized going all the way up those switchbacks that I was wrong. And man, let me tell you guys, that cave was cold, but when I left and went all the way back to the light, I was sweating like a dog. I was so tired, I was exhausted. and I finally saw Heaven's Light. It was so beautiful. I finally made it to the top. After that extreme cardio workout, man, I definitely deserved a good meal. It seemed more awesome and rewarding coming up because it looked more beautiful too and kind of more dramatic too, to be honest. The light and the beautiful structures of the brick switchbacks, it was just, man, it was just cool. But yeah, I mean, I had a good time. It was a blast, guys. And I recommend you guys check this place out too for yourselves. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Please like, please subscribe, and leave a comment.